Hello, everyone. My name is Arij, and it's truly an honor and pleasure to be amongst you all today. First of all, I want to take out this time and thank each and every one of you for coming here and listening to my story. It truly does mean a lot. So, my journey in the United States has been one full of pain, mental strength, and triumph in the face of extreme challenges. I came to the United States at the age of 13 with my parents and sister in the harsh winters of 2009. Moving countries in my teenage years was strange. On one hand, I was confused because I did not know the language, the people, or the lifestyle. On the other hand, the American dream seemed like a real possibility for me. On the first day of school, I was filled with glimmer and hope. What I did not foresee was how my day was going to go. I remember walking into the lunchroom so vividly of Potomac Middle School, and while standing in line, just minding my business, a student comes up to me and calls me a terrorist, simply for looking the way I looked, nothing more. It made me feel terrible, and my first day was completely ruined. However, I knew how hard my parents had worked for me to be here in this country, and I was not going to let an incident like this weigh me down. Fitting in as an outsider was very challenging, but it's a task I had to achieve. I came from a different country, I came from a different culture, and English wasn't even my native language. I put in day and night into learning the English language, how the schooling system worked, and making friends with people from all different backgrounds, something I wasn't really accustomed to in my country. Even though I was learning and I was improving, life in America did not pan out how I wanted it to be. Over the next 5 years, my father worked multiple jobs and I went to 4 different schools, including 3 different high schools. That feat was highly challenging for me because naturally I'm a very massive introvert. And every time I felt the hint of settling, we had to move again. What looked initially as my biggest challenge in the beginning was only the start because due to unfortunate circumstances, while I was in high school, I became undocumented. Saying this was hard would be an understatement. Everything in my life changed. I knew that I wasn't able to drive, that I wasn't able to work, that I probably wasn't even able to go to school. All my friends were talking about the colleges they were going to go to, the universities they were going to attend. And here I was in the corner. I had everything what life promised would get me into college. But one thing I didn't have was papers. I would continuously go to my counselors, and even they would look at me and they would be like, Arij, we have no answers for you. That at that point became very, very, very frustrating because I felt like an American, but an American without papers was not truly American. And as if things weren't hard enough, one day when I was 17 years old, I heard a knock at the door. I opened it, and in front of me were agents of ICE. They told me I had to come with them. In fear, without even me getting the opportunity to tell anyone, they took me. They sat me down in their police-like car in the back. My entire world was crumbling before my eyes. They took me to their office and sat me down. You know how we've all seen the top 10 most wanted list in America? Well, it was in front of me. The real thing, the real one. I begged them to allow me to call my dad. And on the call, I told my dad to bring my transcripts, my achievements, my honors, and he did. But it meant nothing to them. It was as if I wasn't human. Me and my dad, we sat down helpless. And in a moment of courage, I tell the agents, I say, hey, look at my record. I'm an excellent student. I've never even had detention before. I'm not a criminal. And I recall the reply of one of the agents, Catherine, which still mimics to my ears to this day, as she says, yeah, but that's what all criminals say. And here I was now, a criminal who had never done anything wrong, but a criminal nonetheless. And they put me in deportation proceedings. Guys, I've never felt more helpless in life than I did at that point. This proved to be immensely challenging mentally. Like I previously stated, all my friends were going to great colleges, and here I was, not even able to tell the whole truth or my own story. I didn't even know whether I would be in this country or not. And this is the country where my parents are, my family is, everything I know is now. And I didn't know my future. I started struggling academically and began to question reasons to why I was even alive or what I did to deserve this. And as if the pain wasn't enough, my father lost his occupation and we had to struggle to put the food out the table. I was completely depressed, crying every single night, wondering what I had done to deserve all of this. The future looked bleak. Being at absolute rock bottom, I realized one thing. No matter how many reasons life is giving me to fail or give up, I must keep fighting for my dream because that is what my parents deserve and I deserve. At that moment, even when there was no outlook, there was nothing for me to look forward to, I promised myself that I would be successful. No matter how many obstacles come in the way, I would get to the finish line. When I first wanted to attend college, I was rejected 4 times, again and again and again, until I finally met the president of my college and convinced him to allow me the privilege to get educated, since it was incredibly important to me. I started doing manual labor jobs and meager wages to support my family and pay for college. I started to go to the gym to get physically stronger because I was mentally weak. Along with this, I chose to pursue a very challenging degree in information technology. Even though I was trying my level hardest, it just wasn't enough because I was struggling to pay for my school and I had the fear of deportation looming over me. That is when one thing happened that changed my life. Everyone has a crossroad in their lives, and mine was when I met the Dream Project. I got involved with the Dream Project through my sister, Parisha Chauri. It was the first time that I had ever been into a room of people which were accepting of me, of who I am, and the support they've shown over the last few years has been nothing short of extraordinary. Not only have they helped me financially, but mentally. Everyone has been so helpful that it is beyond explaining it in the spoken words. I always used to think that there's no hope for an undocumented person in a country like the United States. But meeting the Dream Project truly did change that. And Mr. Remus from the Dream Project, he single-handedly helped me fight my deportation case. Because of him, I fought in multiple court dates for my future. And this year, we finally succeeded. Due to the belief the Dream Project showed in me, it changed my outlook in life. Now I knew that I had people having my back and I had to give my absolute all. So what I wanted to do now was give everything inside me. So I joined the SGA. I started reading daily. I started listening to informative podcasts and I volunteered. I took every tragedy life bestowed upon me in a positive manner and learned lessons life was trying to teach me. I continued my challenging degree, which I was taking at Northern Virginia Community College in Information Technology, and I graduated as an honors graduate. I started to step out of my comfort zone each and every single day of my life to become the best version of myself. I began developing leadership qualities concentrated in mentoring peers, entrepreneurship, and helping younger undocumented kids get through their journeys so that they don't have to do what I went through. I started lobbying Congress. I started telling people my story within Congress as well. I started to understand the power of my own story through the Dream Project. Hence, it was very fundamental for me to tell it in important rooms with important people who in turn also have come up to me and said that because of the story they've done, that they want to start their own scholarship for undocumented kids. Going through all of this, I became a leader and I became a person who understood the mission of his life is to change this world for the better. I gained admission into the prestigious University of Virginia, pursuing a bachelor's degree in cybersecurity on a full merit-based scholarship, where I graduated with the highest distinction and a 3.9 GPA. While in school, I attained 5 industry-level certifications, and I recently landed a job as a cloud security engineer at America's fastest growing company called GuidePoint Security, which deals with cybersecurity. And I also gained pre-admission into a graduate program at Harvard. None of this would have been possible without the Dream Project. Yes, it was a scholarship, but for me, it was much more. I gained a new family, new friends, new mentors, and new opportunities to learn from everyone around me. My name is Arij, and I'm a student of life. And I want to help as many people as humanly possible, especially kids like myself who were hopeless at times, but yet had a dream that kept them alive and going. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. And that was my story.